In this exciting video, we'll be taking a look at a popular lighting workflow called three-point lighting, and as it relates to Maya lights. The concept originated back in the early days of television and was used primarily to light people and light objects in the set. So we'll be opening up a file. Make sure you set your project always when you're starting a new lesson, and this will be called lighting. We'll set that project, and in the scenes folder of that lighting project we'll be opening up Still Life V01 version 1. In this scene we have a simple still life set up with some fruit on a column stand with a little bit of a curved wall in the back. This object is a deformer that creates the curvature, and we can just hit Control H to hide that object. It's still there, but we don't have to see it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and turn off wireframe unshaded so we can take a look at the objects. Now there's a camera already set up called Camera 1 that's got the desired framing and angle that we want. If we go ahead and go in and render the scene without any lights, Maya will use its default light, which is basically a light attached to the camera pointing at the subject. It gives you a very quick idea of what the scene looks like and mimics what's going on in the panel view. Today we'll be taking a look at creating a three-point light system for this still life. The first component of a three-point lighting system is the key light. The key light is the primary light that gives an object its shape and its look and its tone. We'll be doing that with a spotlight. Create a spotlight, hit W to move it up. We'll move it over. So you can see it's a cone shape. The source light is here and shoots out in the direction of the arrow. Go ahead, hit E. We'll rotate the light over. Now, if you press 7, you'll get lighting feedback in your panel. And you can start placing the light as you see fit. We'll create a wider cone angle on this light. Move it a bit more to the side and create a little bit more of an angle for the key. The key light is also responsible for creating the primary shadows and the sense of lighting direction. Go ahead and move it up a little bit, rotate it down, and there's our press 7 in the camera view. There's our light direction. The second component of a three-point light is the fill light. The fill light serves to soften shadows cast by the key light and also to create light in the dark areas, which may be too undesirable. Typically, the fill light is created at an opposite angle to the key light and at a slightly lower intensity. For the fill light, we will create a directional light. Now I'm just going to move the light over here. That doesn't change anything for the lighting. A directional light is all about its orientation, its rotation. As you can see, we're getting a very even swatch of light coming in. I will set that up to about an equal opposite angle to the key light, maybe a little bit more down, and then I will reduce its intensity to just over half. We'll take a look. We'll see that the dark areas are nicely filled in, but it's not a flat composition by any means. You still get a nice roll off, you still have very nice highlights, and you immediately understand that the light direction is coming from the right of frame. The third component of a three-point light system is called a rim light, also known as a backlight, which will be coming from the opposite direction, almost directly facing the camera. And for this light, we will create another spotlight. The type of light that you use for the 3 points are entirely up to you. No one light does a better job than the others. It all depends on the look that you desire. What's important to note is the fact that you've got lighting direction from one area, you've got fill from another area, and you have a rim or a halo coming from yet another. Take a look at our composition. You'll start noticing a nice rim highlight that helps bring out some of the shape of these objects. You can see as I move the light away that we start losing that sense. We'll go ahead and angle it at about here and create its intensity to just under half, just to get a little bit of a hit. We take a look in our perspective window. The layout is very simple. Key, fill, rim. Take a look at a render. Here's the default. We'll put that in our image buffer and render with our new lighting. You have instant identification of light direction. You have a good amount of overall fill light and a nice highlight. We can probably bring that down a little bit. Let's create that about half. This edge is being created by one of the spotlights, because spotlights, as you can see here, have a finite edge. By increasing the cone angle, we move that edge because we are creating a much wider light. You could very easily use a directional light and you will not have this issue. If we render this again, let's put this in the buffer and render with the wider key. Now we don't have the shadow line issue and we have a quickly lit composition. To take a look at a more complex lighting arrangement, let's go ahead and open Still Life VO2 from the lighting project. In this layout, you'll see multiple lights. However, when you render the camera view, you'll be able to see lighting direction. You'll be able to see a nice soft fill and a nice rim. Now we used more than 3 lights in this setup because 3-point light doesn't necessarily mean you need 3 lights. You need 3 directions. A key, which we can see coming from the left side of the screen now. A fill, which is coming in from the right of the screen. And a rim, which is almost always coming from the back. That, in a nutshell, is the 3-point lighting system. In this video, we took a look at the 3-point lighting system concept and how it relates to Maya. We took a look at creating a simple 3-light version of the 3-point system. We also took a look at a more complex 3-point lighting system that used a few more lights.